Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, on a very, very difficult day for those of us in broadcasting, because you have to be blind to not talk about what's going on at the highest levels of government and in the media. You can take any side you want, but let me tell you, everyone's taken a side. And, of course, the bias side, the Democrats, have already printed the newspapers like here in San Francisco with a headline, Trump aides found guilty. Well, that's called guilt by association or yellow journalism, as we well know. There's nothing new about that. But I'm asking you, the audience, what you think the president should do now. My position is out there and open. President Trump, please stop tweeting. President Trump, please don't give any more interviews because they will use it against you. Joining us in the audience right now are you, the listener, and you can call us at 855-407-7282, but don't call because I have two special guests in the studio today, Diamond and Silk, beautiful ladies, very smart. They're doing a movie now called Dummycrats, the movie, and they're here in town to do a little filming with yours truly, a short scene. And welcome to the Savage Nation.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Now, I really don't know your opinion, but I could tell by how you reacted when I said, what would you recommend the president do right now? You didn't agree with me that much. You said, I'm glad we all have different opinions. What would you tell the president to do as of right now?
Listen, I like the fact that he's going around and he's doing rallies. He's taking his message directly to the people and bypassing the mainstream media, the left-wing media. Mm-hmm. And that's what I love. I love that he tweets. I love that he's taking this message and message to the people and doing rallies. That's what I like.
He has to continue to tweet because that's how we get the information. If we had to rely on the very fake news media narrative, we would be thinking this man is going to get impeached yesterday. Right. So we love the tweeting part. We love the fact that he's out there and he's telling the truth about the matter, because right now there is a lot of undercover railroad that's going on, and he is letting the people know exactly what's going on.
Right.
As women, though, and a lot of women moved over and voted for Trump at the end, right?
Right.
With all this scandal about paying women off before he was president, do you think it will damage him with women?
Well, first of all, let me just say this here.
Say it.
We did not vote for a pastor or a priest. We voted for a president.
That's right.
We voted for a man who was a businessman, not a career politician. He's not controlled by anyone. Okay, he's not a puppet and no one is pulling his strings. We have to understand that. We voted for a president that said, I want to make America great again. And what you see playing now, you see people that are very upset because the same thing has been happening over and over again. People has been getting their kickback, paddywhacks, give a dog a bone. Mm-hmm. That's what's been happening. And see, that kind of stuff, the gravy train is coming to an end. Mm-hmm. So let me stop him at all costs. So what I would do, I would take and I will conjure up this Russian narrative. Mm-hmm. The only Russia we know about is that Russian dressing that we put on our corned beef sandwiches. So how dare you tell 60-some million people that it was Russia that influenced us to go vote for President Trump? That is crazy to me.
That's right.
Well, you got to run for office. You got it. So listen to me, folks, listening to the Savage Nation around America and on the internet around the world. If you have a comment or a question for these extremely insightful ladies, Diamond and Silk, out here to do their movie Dummycrats, you got one shot at it. It's going to be right now. The phone number is 855-400-7282. I'm going to take some callers right now on another topic. Well, not really another topic. It's the same topic, which is what would you advise the president if you could advise him? But I would prefer that you call to speak to my guests because I have so few guests in studio. But before we do take your calls, I need to play what the president said just this morning on Fox and Friends, which I frankly think was a mistake, because in the following statement, pay attention to what he says. He says, they came from me. Please listen.
Did you know about the payments?
Later on, I knew. Later on. But you have to understand, Ainsley, what he did, and they weren't taken out of campaign finance. That's a big thing. That's a much bigger thing. Did they come out of the campaign? They didn't come out of the campaign. They came from me, and I tweeted about it. You know, I don't know if you know, but I tweeted about the payments. But they didn't come out of campaign. In fact, my first question when I heard about it was, did they come out of the campaign? Because that could be a little dicey. And they didn't come out of the campaign, and that's big. But they weren't. It's not even a campaign violation. If you look at President Obama, he had a massive campaign violation, but he had a different attorney general, and they viewed it a lot differently.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that is public opinion. What do you think Trump should do? And I also want you to address my guests, Diamond and Silk. Miss Diamond and Miss Silk, if I may call you that, since I like the names. Who is Diamond, who is Silk?
I'm Diamond.
And I'm Silk.
And let's see how I know who's wearing the diamonds.
I have little diamonds right here on my glasses.
Okay, got it. I'll remember that.
Okay.
You just heard the president's appearance on Fox and Friends this morning when he said they came from me. Do you think that it was smart to give up so much in a conversation that could be used against him?
Well, the one thing that we love about our president is he's very honest and he's very candid. And he was being very candid and open, very transparent about what happened.
Okay.
If funds came from him, it came from him. It didn't come from the campaign. Another thing, Michael Cohen was not even part of the campaign. So why is this even a conversation? Why are they tying this, Michael Cohen, everything that he did, to President Trump? I don't get that. I don't get that at all.
As people who are honest and can look through people, Michael Cohen, would you trust him to defend you in a court of law?
Oh, absolutely not. No. No, first of all, you don't take, if you have a client, you don't take and you don't start running off at your mouth about your client's business, recording your client's conversation. I'm looking at all that. Absolutely not. He could never represent me. I am so disappointed in him and others that have chosen to jump ship because things don't look like they think it should look.
But let me also say this here, because you have Mueller. He's I call it the big bad wolf here, because you went in and you raided this man's office, you raided his private space and received information from him to use that information against him or to try to figure out how you can get back at the president. Look at this witch hunt of an investigation. Who paid for the dossier? What about the 11 paid in cash payments paid by the FBI to Christopher Steele? What about that? Nobody is talking about that. We can talk about the millions of dollars that was put into the Hillary Clinton campaign from Russian. Nobody wants to talk about that. But you want to stay stuck on a few hoes and prostitutes from back in the day and some payoff. I mean, look. They the ones signed the contract and after laying on their back.
You got my attention when you said hoes and prostitutes.
Wait a minute, but can I say this here? Okay, so if a payment was paid to a porn star, did she pay taxes? I heard somebody say this one. Whoa. I heard somebody say something about donations. Well, a 501c takes donations.
That's right.
So how is this donations? Like, get your words right,
Get
okay?
it straight
Because
now.
the American people are paying attention, and what we see, this is all flawed. This is all a debacle to try to make our president look bad.
Wow.
And it's not working.
Well, when you said that thing about the hose, I mean, you got my attention.
That's
because,
right.
No, but you're saying something real here. She took money, but did she pay taxes on it?
Did she pay taxes?
That's a tax
Is she a
evasion.
501c organization?
I don't
Because
know.
according to the news,
Can a hoe be a 501c3?
well, I don't know.
don't
She was
know.
sliding
That'd
up
be new
and
to
down
me.
that pole. I don't know. See, they're going to have to get their words correct.
That's
because,
right.
see, what we see is somebody, they were trying to extort a sitting president.
Exactly.
Okay? They were, that's what I see.
Blackmail,
and everybody,
baby.
that's right. And everybody is letting this go on. What was the significance of this prostitute coming out for what?
Money.
For money.
money.
But you was already paid.
That's right.
You
You
was
laid
already-
on your back
allegedly.
for a check and signed a contract.
That's right.
Now you want more money?
Back. So wrong with
Interesting.
that.
So she was paid once
That's right.
for her act.
Allegedly.
That's right.
Now she wants to be paid twice
Now she wants to be paid twice.
for her act.
That's
for
right.
her act. For an
And
act
it's
from
all
back
an
in the
act.
day.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's all an act.
And then
That's
as you saw where 60 Minutes gave her a chance, they gave her a chance at an interview. They should have gave her 60 seconds because you're not a mistress. That was a booty call.
That's
what we call a booty call,
That's
baby.
right.
That's
One
what we
night
call.
stand,
That's
that's a booty
all
call.
that
That's not-
was.
that's
Okay.
right. That's not an affair.
What state are you from?
North Carolina.
That's how you call it in North
We
Carolina?
call it a booty call.
That's
Yeah.
what we
Booty call, that's
right. Here in San Francisco, I don't even know what we call it. Because I don't know what the proper terminology would be for that out here since we're so gender confused or gender fluid. What would you say about a booty call in San Francisco?
I would call it a booty call, but I don't know what else they doing out here. I don't visit the streets out here. I don't know what else is happening
Look
out
like
here
they
in San
backing it
That's
up
like my
and dropping
mother,
it like
God
it's
bless her,
hot. They
when she was
backing it up.
alive.
That's what they doing.
Oh, Lord.
Well, no, because my mother was still alive. God rest her soul. She died 10 years ago at age 88. She was never remarried after my father died. And we once were driving around, and she was alive and still healthy in her 60s. And she said, Michael, what do those people do with each other when they're in bed? You know, referring to those people. She didn't even know.
Oh, Bless her
She
heart.
didn't even know. I mean, didn't know.
There's so much stuff
Couldn't even
happening now.
imagine
I
it.
don't know what's happening.
Oh.
Look,
Yeah.
and I'm young.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on, y'all.
Well, the
That's all I
movie
can
you're
say.
doing, Dummycrats, the
Yeah.
movie. Are you going to tell us a little about it when we come back here on the Savage Nation?
Yes.
Can't
yes,
wait
we
to
will.
hear it. Be back in a minute.
Savage.
Welcome back to the Savage Nation. We're obsessed with sex in this country and food. And the fact of the matter is, what is this really about? What is this so-called scandal really about? Well, it's about a lot of things, and it's also about a lot of none-things. And the fact is that they're trying to do guilt by association. Local headline, Trump aides found guilty. Oh, so the average moron walks by the newsstand and says, aha, they got him on the Russia thing. But it has nothing to do with Russia. It's a sleazy lawyer. It's a sleazy campaign advisor. And believe me, if they committed a crime, I want them to do the time. In the studio with us right now are Diamond and Silk. And I have a question for them from you. Actually, I'd like to let the callers throw that question out at us. Gene on WFNC in North Carolina, line 3. Gene, fire away. What's on your mind?
Okay, thank you for taking my call. I have two questions. All of my African-American buddies, they dislike Trump. My main question is, what's it going to take from Trump for the African-American community to realize he's the best thing that's ever occurred in my lifetime for the African-American community, and I'm in my 50s.
Wow.
All right, Diamond, you're on.
Okay, well, you're absolutely right. He is the best thing that ever happened to Black Americans, period. Now, let me just say this here. The president is at 36%. With the African American, 36% support.
Is that higher than
double.
Obama?
I don't know if it's higher than Obama, but it's doubled from where we started.
Okay.
That's right.
All right, which is good, okay? What people don't understand is that this president he's a non-traditional president.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing what Obama wouldn't do. He's trying to fix things. No, really, he's trying to fix things
Yes.
and make things better for the lives of African American or Black people because we ain't never been to Africa. Now, let me
right.
just say this here. No, for
Say
real.
it.
So if you look at people, when he talk about the border, illegal aliens crossing our borders, if we allow illegal aliens to continue to cross our borders, that is going to severely affect minorities like the Black community, the Hispanics that did it the right way, got in line, waited their turn. It's going to affect those people. It's going to drive down the wages. So when you look at that, when you look at them working on the urban vitalization coalition, working with those people in order to rebuild inner and urban cities, something that Obama wouldn't do, something that Obama didn't pay attention to. These are the things that's really helping Black people to thrive in this country. So it's not just a job. You're going to have better communities. You're going to have the opportunities. You're going to be able to just do what you do. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you'll be able to become an entrepreneur. Listen, Black people love ballers and shot callers.
That's right.
When they look at our president, they see a baller. They see a shot caller. They see a businessman. They see a billionaire. They want to be like that too. So
Yes.
I don't want anyone to think, oh, Black people are not getting on board. No. Black people are getting on board. That's why you keep hearing them use the word racist.
Right.
Anytime you hear the left-wing media using the word racist, they're trying to stop Black people. Those are what we call the gatekeepers. They're the gatekeepers of the Democratic plantation. They don't want people to come off of that Democratic plantation, that Democratic mindset, that stinking mindset.
That's right.
So they use that word racist. They use that KKK word to keep them
So
scared.
you don't take the bait.
Oh, no, we done walked off that. We are
But you-
Republicans.
You ladies were raised in Christian homes, correct?
Yes, we were.
And we are lifelong Democrats. We used to be lifelong Democrats.
That's right.
We was conditioned to think that just because you're Black, you had to vote Democrat or that was it.
Right.
That's what we was conditioned to do. But what you have to do is be an example,
Right.
okay? You have to be able to educate people and let them know the difference that this president is making versus the Black president. You have a white president here that's talking about prison reform.
That's right.
Something that's been
African Americans been talking about prison reform for years. Obama didn't do not one thing for
Not one
prison
thing.
reform. But then you have the businessman come to the table, okay, we're going to fix this right here.
That's right.
We're going to give people a second chance. And when they get out of prison, they will be able to go and get them a job where they can take care of their families. Because remember, Bill Clinton signed that crime bill into law.
That's right.
That had Black men locked up by the droves. And then we want to know why our African-American brothers and sisters running around here acting. Well, if you're not raised with a mother or parents in the home, when you have a system that say, oh, if I give you some food stamps or some welfare, you got to take the man out the home. Think about how they broke up families.
That
So you
was
have
under
a
Johnson, the
president
Great
here.
Society. before Johnson's liberal Great Society socialism, right?
Mm-hmm.
The black communities in America, there were tens of thousands of businesses.
Absolutely.
Let's just say the barbershop. That was an example, right? Thousands in every neighborhood, black neighborhoods. What happened when Big Daddy came along and became the father? Those businesses closed.
Right.
The father was driven out of the household.
That's right.
The government became the father. Very few people know it was the, quote, Great Society of LBJ that destroyed the black communities in America.
Right. Give them enough to keep them quiet, but not enough to make a difference. And he said some more things. Oh, my goodness. And black people are going to have to wake up. Because Obama didn't do anything for anybody. He worked for Hollywood. He was the puppet, and Hollywood was pulling his strings. That's who paid him. You got this president, ain't nobody paying him nothing. I'm beholden to the American people.
I know for a fact that it was Hollywood who put him in office.
Oh, yes.
That's right.
Oh, yes.
They raised the money for him before anyone else in Beverly Hills in those private mansions.
Yes, they did.
But the beauty here is what Obama's done since he got out, right? He's taken a $70 million book deal. God bless him. That's a nice advance.
That's
I like
kickback
it.
patty whack.
Yes.
$100 million Netflix deal. Good deal.
Yes.
And yet he goes to South Africa and says there's terrible economic disparity in America and the world.
But he didn't help change that. He didn't do nothing to change that. See, he ran on hope and change. He shortchanged America, and he done made out with a lot of change. Now, what's that about? So now you have a President Trump, that sits at the table and say, hey, okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to change the justice system. Yes, it is going to be a little justice reform. We're going to do that. I'm going to do some more things.
Unbelievable. Yeah, he came to do good, and he did very well indeed.
Yes, he did. Yes,
we'll
he did.
We'll be back on the Savage Nation and talk about politics.
Yes.
Right here on the Savage Nation.
Savage.
Welcome back to the Savage Nation, out to San Francisco and the world. Maybe not a crime and nothing to do with Russia, but a real mess for the president anyway. And we'd like to straighten out this mess by talking about the realities of what we're talking about. And talking about it with us is, of course, the great Savage Nation audience heard around the world online. And, of course, the guests, Diamond and Silk, who have a lot to say about a lot of things, and they're saying it really in the right way. They're here because they're doing a movie called Dummycrats, the movie. I can't wait to see it. And we're going to do a little filming on that a little later. But I want to ask the ladies a question by going to one of our callers. Lenny on WABC, line 3. Go ahead, Lenny. Fire away.
Hi, good afternoon. Great show. Diamond Silk, I got a quick question. What are your thoughts about Governor Cuomo's remarks last week he made about America not being great?
Wow. I think he is sick. I think he is sad. No, he really is. Listen, his parents migrated from another country. All so that they can obtain the American dream. He has been able to obtain the American dream. If you Google him, he's worth $5 million, according to Google now. And you mean to tell me he's saying that America can't be great or will never be great? Shame on him. That's a slap in the face to our veterans. That's right. For our freedoms.
That's right.
Isn't it? Just
Every
think about
military cemetery, I said it that day, that you drive by and see the crosses. What they die for?
That's
Absolutely.
They die so you can spit on their grave?
Absolutely.
And if he think that America is so just not so great, then what he can do is pack his rags in a bag, buy him a boat, and float to another country.
That's right. That's what he can do. That's right. Get out of our country if you don't think it's
Why
great.
you're here.
And see, here's what the president is going to do. He's going to make this place greater than we've ever seen it before.
That's
and
right.
people like Cuomo, him, his brother, all of them. All the ones on the left, they don't like that. Because what they want to continue to do is hand people crumbs. Well, we can no longer vote for a system that keeps handing us crumbs. We can't do that anymore.
Well, the callers have other questions for Diamond and Silk, and I'd like to take some of them as time goes on. WFNC in North Carolina, line 9. Mark, go ahead, please. What's your question?
Yes, those two ladies you're sitting there with, they're our governor and lieutenant governor unofficially. Those ladies walk God's green earth to us in North Carolina. We love y'all, and you...
Oh, my God, I love you more.
Yes, and you're my bell sheep. Don't you forget it, girls. You're my bell sheep. And you.
All right, so what is your question for my guest, please?
Name me 5 things Obama did for the black community, and I will accept 1 for 5. That's all I've ever asked. He kept you a slave and keeps everyone a slave. That's what the Democrats do. We all are slaves. And Donald Trump is trying to deliver us from all being slaves.
All right, nice So it's more of a statement than a question. Let's go to line 8 out in KKOH. This call's coming to you, ladies, from Reno, Nevada.
Okay.
Mike on KKOH, what's your question for Diamond and Silk?
I'd like to know more about their background, where they grew up, what their life was like, and what was their political awakening.
Good.
Okay, first of all, we grew up in a household with a mother and a father where we sat down and had a meal. We grew up in a Christian household.
That's right.
I can just tell you that. Now, our political affiliation back then, we used to be lifelong Democrats. But we found that just because you black, it didn't mean you have to vote Democrat. So what we did was we got off of what we called that Democrat plantation. We switched our party to Republican so that we can vote for Donald J. Trump. That's just how it happened.
Is this the first time you shifted affiliation was for Donald?
This was the first time. Listen,
well, that's an interesting statement unto itself.
Well, listen, when we first saw him, he said, hey, I want to secure the border.
That's right.
You know what we thought? Don't you secure your house?
Don't you?
Ain't the White House secure?
Isn't
then
it?
America House should be secure.
I kind of tell the liberals, why don't you leave your front door open?
Absolutely.
Right.
And then I want to bring back jobs. Why would you outsource our jobs?
That's right.
And leave the American people riding dirty?
You have to be an idiot to
do
take
that.
and outsource jobs and not allow Americans to work.
And then Obama said the jobs will never come back.
That's what
so
he
you
said.
want to hand somebody Obama phone and give them food stamps? That's crazy to us.
That's
but
right.
look at this president. These jobs are coming back. So he was saying things that made sense. What he did, he shook awoke America.
That's right.
We was paying attention and we switched our party. And not only did we do that, back in September of 2015, we started something called the Ditch and Switch Now movement.
That's
where
right.
we use social media to push it to get other people that were Democratic to switch their party to Republican to vote for Donald Trump, and it worked.
And right now, that's why they're trying to silence us.
That's
right
right.
now.
Diamond and Silk, even today, after all of this that came up yesterday, the crimes and the misdemeanors, they're throwing it on him. He did this, he did that. You haven't lost faith in President Trump?
Absolutely not. That don't have nothing to do with President Trump.
Right.
See, I see the language. I hear the language. I'm paying attention to
We
the
know
very
about
fake news.
railroading.
I know
Yes.
what that. I know what you're doing.
Silk, you said you know about?
We know about railroading. We know what railroading looked like.
Yeah.
Now, this is so important.
Yes.
Because in many ways, and this is a weirdo, I said Donald Trump is like a minority in America to the media. He's being treated the way
Yes.
black men
You
were
said it.
treated.
Boom.
Yes.
You just said
You
it.
said it. And I would tell black people, you need to wake up and you should be crying out. You know you don't like it when they over-criminalize you,
That's
pin
right.
charges on you that they have no business.
That's
Yet
right.
you sitting up here and you allowing this to happen to our president.
Yep.
Everybody should be outraged.
Wow.
Prosecutorial misconduct,
Wow.
over-criminalization of the system.
That's
this
right.
has got to stop. This is a witch hunt and this president is being railroaded. And I can't say it enough.
So
Yes.
you didn't change your opinion. In
Absolutely
fact, this has
not.
probably made you even more of a supporter.
Listen,
Most definitely.
listen. I haven't wavered. We didn't back down. We love and we stand behind this president.
100%.
100%. I know
right.
you see everybody turning on him. We ain't turning on him because he is the best thing that happened to America. He is not a career politician. It's not gonna look like you think it should look.
Right.
See, they used to people getting in office and doing nothing. They working for their own greed. They come, listen, they go in poor. Obama walked in poor, now he 50 rich.
Yes.
What is that about?
Yes.
Just think about that for a
Don't
minute.
tell me. I've been
Yeah.
screaming
It's
about it for
the
years.
Look at Maxine Water, the same thing. Yes.
She been sitting around with
On that
20-some
banking
years,
committee?
ain't done nothing.
Steering money to her husband.
There you go.
Okay.
Her
Do you
husband's
see what I'm
bank.
talking
Where
about?
was the
But
indictment on that one?
But you want to talk about Trump? You want
Yeah.
to talk about some tax information? You want to talk about that?
Oh, Maxine?
Please.
Yeah. So let's talk about, if you talk about tax evasion, didn't something happen with Al Sharpton?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
He didn't pay his taxes. Why
No.
he not sitting behind
Don't
bars?
let us take
Why
it there.
ain't Mueller going after him?
Yeah.
I
You see
got
what
it
I'm
right
talking
here.
about?
Al Sharpton owed $4.5 million in taxes and told everyone he ain't going nowhere.
Oh, that's what he said, huh?
You can still see him on MSNBC. He's been rewarded
Yeah.
There
for
you
his.
go. Yeah.
He was
There you
never
go.
arrested, tried, or convicted. How about old Charles Rangel owed back taxes on a rental home at a Punta Cana resort? Nothing.
There you
Why?
go.
Well, different strokes for different folks.
There
And
you
didn't I
go.
hear about campaign contribution? Well, didn't Rosie just do something with
O'Donnell.
campaign
That's right.
contributions?
Rosie who?
Rosie O'Donnell.
That's right.
Didn't that happen with her when
Yes.
she was given too much money in alias names?
Oh,
And
my
they
God.
called her
So
out
So it's
about
selective
that?
prosecution, railroading.
Absolutely,
In your
yes.
mind, this is typical of what happens with people who are powerless
Right.
in society. And
right.
Here it's being done to the most powerful man in
Yes.
the world.
Exactly.
So how do we, the people, deal with it we agree with you. I agree with you. The people who are listening to the show no doubt agree with you to the largest extent. But going out on the road, when you run into people who say, well, maybe he really did something wrong, what are you going to say to them?
Oh, he didn't do a
He
thing
didn't do
wrong.
nothing no more wrong than Obama.
Yeah,
Obama paid $375,000 for his campaign whenever they
Campaign contribution?
That's right.
Yeah.
Whenever he was found, that was his fine. That was Obama's fine for what he did back in 2008.
So he paid that. Why won't you let these people pay? If they owe something,
That's
did
right.
something wrong, why won't you let them pay?
They're trying to turn them and burn them.
Why are you over criminalizing somebody and throwing them in jail for 30-some years? And these people got family and got children that they have to raise.
Burn
this is
them
crazy.
and turn them against
right.
Trump.
That's
right.
exactly what they're trying to
It's
do.
a war.
And why are they doing it? They're doing it because President Trump is like Ray to roaches.
I love it. They don't like that.
Right, that's right. He's exposing the swamp.
He surely is, and they don't like it.
Okay, your support has not wavered, and I think that what can happen here, and I don't know if anyone said this yet in the media, you know, when Bill Clinton was impeached, his approval ratings went up. Because what happens here is people actually dig their heels in and support their person when that person's in trouble. This could actually turn on the Democrats.
Well, it's already turning on them because they looking crazy.
Right.
Let me tell you something. President support, he have more support now.
Right.
This is how you know he have support. When you see the left-wing media trying to destroy him and bringing out the porn stars and they doing all of this foolishness and they trying to tie these verdicts to Trump. When you see stuff like that,
That's
that
right.
lets you know that the president is winning. If he wasn't winning, they wouldn't be trying to destroy him. They
right.
only smear who they fear. And they fear
Whoa.
him. That's
That's
why they're
right.
trying to smear him.
Girls should consider a career in radio. They only smear who they fear. Someone said that to me before I was in radio 26 years ago. I used to go on book tours. So I had a way with words, and someone said, you should consider a career in radio. But you do have a great way with words. I want to play for you and everyone else listening what went on this morning. Here are the Trump haters on all the channels combined in a few seconds in clip number 1 on the Savage Nation. Let's listen.
Today is going to be historic. We'll all remember what we were doing when we heard this news about Michael Cohen.
President Trump committed a criminal act that corrupted our democracy. That's what the campaign finance laws are about.
Today, we witnessed the President of the United States go from the frying pan into the fire.
The president just became an unindicted co-conspirator, and he could become an indicted co-conspirator.
I believe that the Judiciary Committee in both the House and the Senate should take this issue up immediately.
Donald Trump is indeed a scumbag. Voters know that.
He better not talk about pardons for Michael Cohen or Paul Manafort tonight or any time in the future.
We're in a Watergate moment, and the White House is looking increasingly like a criminal enterprise.
I think you ought to be in a waterbed rather than in a Watergate moment. Folks, you hear the opposition. They're sure they not only smell blood, they're drinking the blood. They're like Dracula. Am I right?
Yeah.
They're drinking it by the gallon. Now, I want to take a quick commercial break. Then we're going to come back with the great ladies, Diamond and Silk. And what I'm going to talk about for a minute now is bed and sleep, which I could use some right now. I was up all night tossing and turning. It is Savage Nation, Little BB King when Loves Comes to Town. You know, it's interesting. I asked these great ladies, Diamond and Silk. It shows you there's always a little, like, a bias in a person. I say, okay, they're black ladies. They must love BB King. And what did you say to me when I said, did you love B.B. King and blues music? It was astounding, your answer.
Well, listen, we was raised Christian, so a lot of blues music, we didn't listen to that kind of stuff until we grew up.
So it took a New Yorker to like blues music. But African Americans from North Carolina weren't allowed to listen to it. I love it.
We weren't allowed to listen to no blues.
That was like my father saying when he came home and I was playing a rock roll. He said, get that garbage off that speaker. He said, what is that garbage you're listening to? Yes. He said, that's junkie music.
Yes,
He did. So Diamond and Silk, we got the Trump thing. You didn't lose your hope. What kind of grief have you gotten from the left wing because of your support for the president?
Well, you know, they were really upset when we started supporting this president, when we started thinking outside of the box and when we switched our party to Republican. But you know what? We found the more they hate, the more we continue to educate. And we started letting people know, listen, we can no longer vote for a system that keeps handing us crumbs.
That's right.
It was time to vote for somebody that had the ingredients that can make a whole cake or show us how to make a whole cake, and we can sit down to have a slice of it. We didn't need anyone giving us handouts. We only wanted someone to give us a hand up. And that's what this sitting president is doing. So we didn't pay any attention to the trolls, to the hate, honey, or to any of the ones that was trying to give us
But they
grief.
probably still do try to tell you to hush up.
Well, if you look at it, they're trying to hush us up. Look at Facebook right now with Mark Zuckerberg, with the censorship that's going on.
Are you being censored?
We are being
Absolutely.
censored.
Yes.
That's correct. That's correct. And we always say, where one door may close, a big old window will open.
What do you mean? Zuckerberg's Facebook banned you?
We don't know what the Zuck is wrong with Mark Zuckerberg. But he is censoring our content.
That's right.
We have 1.7 million fans and followers.
That's right.
And he won't let them see our content when we post the video.
They're shadow banning.
They are shadow banning. They are keeping our posts from being seen.
Not
They are
allowing people to
censoring
get-
our voices, and they did it maliciously and deliberately.
That's
Well, they
right.
cut my traffic by 70%. I noticed. I used to get a
Exactly.
huge thing, and then it went down.
Yeah.
What is with this guy?
Well, see, they trying to win an election. This is the
That's right.
collusion.
Yes.
This is the colluding right here.
That's right.
They don't want
silence of conservative voices,
right.
silence of
So
Diamond
it
and
doesn't
Silk.
matter if you're a minority, African,
It doesn't matter.
Chinese.
And
If
see,
you
we are-
go outside the plantation,
That's
you
right.
go.
Because we're a triple threat.
That's
we black, we conservative,
And we
baby,
women.
That's right. They don't like that. Because they think that we're supposed to still be thinking on the
we're going
inside
down
of
to
the box.
Facebook after this. We're going down together. We're going to we're going to knock on Mark's door and say, Mark, here's the faces of the people
That's
that you
right.
hate. Do we look so bad, Mark?
Absolutely. That's
See,
right.
this is the problem.
That's right.
Turning you into monsters, me into a monster, right? And they don't see our humanity, and
That's
they
right.
don't understand we know what's going on.
But they fail to realize that we're one race, and that's the human race. And this is the United States, not the divided states. And that's why we have to stay united as
So
one.
don't suppress some ideas, accept all ideas.
That's right.
Here's a question for Diamond and Silk. Why did hip-hop think Trump was good decades ago, but not now?
Well, because you had old crooked Hillary come out and start calling him that R word, that racist word. And anytime black people hear the word racist, they start running like roaches.
That's right.
Okay, really, that's what it is. They get scared.
Let's take this quick caller who has a different opinion than all of us, which
Okay,
is
come
good.
on.
That's America.
Okay.
Joe, WABC in New York, make your point, please. What is it? I don't know where he went, but he wanted to say something like the president should apologize and say he would do better. I disagree.
But can I also say that Donald Trump is not a racist? He's a realist, and the only color he sees is green, and he wants everyone to have some of it.
Give a man a fishing rod, not a fish.
There you go. What?
Savage Nation, be here or be nowhere with me and Diamond and Silk.
Michael Savage, a host like no other.